Hey everyone, it's DFA, welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at the third and final part of my series about winning objective-based games, and today will be about Epicenter. And so, two gameplays for you, one in a pseudo battleship, the Siegfried, the second one in a destroyer, the Halland, because those gameplays will have different dynamics. We start with the Siegfried and you see me looking for an island or a location on the map immediately. And the reason for that is actually quite simple. If you look at the dynamics of an Epicenter game, you actually have a number of things that come into play. The first one is you can win it obviously by killing every single ship on the enemy team. You can also win it by getting more than 1000 points. How do you actually do that? Well, there are three rings to capture. The outer ring, the biggest one, is going to give you around 48 points per minute. The inner one, the middle one, will give you around 55, and the smallest one, the center ring, will actually give you 70 points per minute. And so what that concretely means is, as long as you are in control of two of the rings, you are actually in a good position to be winning the game. Obviously, if you do not control any of these three rings, you are losing 170 points per minute, and your chances of winning are actually zero. So you absolutely have to stay within those three rings during the whole duration of the game. It's absolutely mandatory. It's a bit like center control with respect to that. And you will obviously prevent the enemy ships from doing the same, just like you saw me doing there at Essex, sending a love letter as soon as he entered the outer ring. Don't go there, come out, you're way too aggressive. And you basically want to be applying the same logic to every single ship that comes into your area. Take a look at what we're going to do with that lion. I'm currently contesting the outer ring. We have 3 ships there. The enemy team has also 3, and I want to be pushing one of them out. And so that is why I'm focusing that lion. I'm going to switch my attention to that Neptune soon, but I really want to send them a message, don't go there, because there it's absolutely vital that we cap another ring. It's not going very well with the outer ring. The enemy team has more ships than we do, so I'm going to try my luck on the other one, the middle ring. And that's basically what you want to be doing in that game mode. You want to keep track. It's not easy to do. You need to take a look at the minimap all the time, but you want to keep track of how many ships are in which areas, and if you are in a position to actually influence the capture or delay the capture of that area. And you don't want to get too aggressive. There, for example, you see me entering the middle ring, because I noticed that we are in a position to cap it, and I take that salvo from that Neptune because I absolutely want to secure the cap. And sure enough, now we are in a position to be winning that game. I'm going to go back, see if we can actually take the outer one. I've pushed that Neptune out, and immediately I noticed that we start losing the middle ring, so I'm simply going to go back again. As long as you secure 2 objectives, 2 caps, you win those games fairly easily. And so I immediately accelerate and try to go back to the middle ring to support my team there. I'm also trying to push that lion out, send him a nice love letter, because yeah, I really want to keep that, to keep the number of caps intact. And there you go. Sure enough, you see that the points are starting to pile up in our advantage. We are basically winning 120 points per minute, and they're only winning 50, so it's a comfortable advantage. Unfortunately, we are starting to lose the center area. There is nothing I can do about it, but what I can do is actually, I noticed that we do have an advantage in the outer ring, and this is where actually I'm trying to retreat. And I'm sending a couple of shells in the direction of that black disc mark. I want him out. I want to push him out of this area because I want to secure the cap. So it's not always easy to be monitoring how many ships you have and how many ships the enemy team has in each area. It's very complicated. You have to take a look at the minimap, but if you cannot do it, you simply move back and forth between those 2 areas, those 2 zones, just as you see me do basically. As soon as I enter one of the zones, I'm actually pulling back to the other one to see if we are in a position to be capping it, or to basically, I would say, secure our positioning. And I'm also targeting the ships which are competing for my area, so you see immediately I'm leaving the outer ring and we start losing it again, so I'm pulling back immediately and I'm trying to cap it back. And so do we have any ships that we can target which are actually annoying us? Because yeah, we cannot really help our destroyers in the middle, but they have 2 ships there, they should be fine. Ah, the Black Bismarck is making a comeback, precise aim, and we are going to put a nice salvo into the superstructure there, and that will send him a message: you are not welcome here. Bam, Citadel, excellent. But unfortunately he decides to hide behind that island. We are not in a position to be pushing him out, and we are not in a position to cap the outer area simply because they have as many ships as we do, actually a little bit more. So what I do is I'm trying to be a little bit more aggressive and support my team in the center ring. I know that the DD has sent torpedoes my way, I know that I will have to pay a price together, but I absolutely want to secure it because I'm not going to be able to secure the outer ring anytime soon. If you look at the position of my team, this is the obvious place where you want to be. And so it's always a challenge to be monitoring the position of your fleet mates or your teammates, the position of the enemy team. That's what decides between success and failure on that kind of game mode, and it's a little bit tricky to play, but there you go, that's how you basically win those games. And yeah, we're ahead by around 300 points, so we've done our jobs really well here. We've only capped 2 times, but we have challenged the cap a number of times. We've done our job, and we can actually finish that Black Bismarck as well. We can take a couple of torpedoes, that's perfectly fine. I still have a damage control kit. There we go, second kill of the game. And yeah, with 1 minute left I can basically be using my hit points. I do not have to fear anything now, and we've done a very good job at understanding the game dynamics, the position of the enemy team versus our team. And so if I recap the playbook for battleships and cruisers, you go near an island that is as close as you can to 2 zones, usually between the, I would say, the outer and the middle ring, and you navigate between the, if you cannot count the enemy, the number of ships, or you do not have a view on where the enemy ships are located, and you don't have the visibility on everything all the time, you simply navigate between 1 and 2 areas, and you try to see which one you can actually cap or prevent the enemy team from capping. And so you always want to maintain that 1 cap advantage over the enemy. That is how you win those games, as long as you have 1 more base than the enemy, and ideally as close as to the center as you can, you will be winning those epicenter battles. And so that was it for battleships and cruisers. Let us take a look at destroyers, where we'll have, I would say, quite similar dynamics, but in a different position on the map. And here we are. It was one of my first battles with the tier 10 EUDD, the Halland, absolutely amazing ship, and we do have a pretty good matchmaking. A couple of battleships on the enemy team, only 1 light cruiser and 2 Shimakaze. So we are in a good position to do what destroyers have to do on that kind of game modes, which is challenge for the center. But we're not going to do that, I would say, in a YOLO suicidal mode. We want to be a little bit more careful. We do not want to engage immediately, especially when you have 2 Shimakazes on the enemy team. You know that a big fat wave of torpedoes will potentially be coming your way, so you want to be a little bit more careful. And so I do not want to go too far away from my team. I still want to be aggressive and push for the center, but I really want to be securing the middle cap as well as soon as I go there. Obviously I am a Halland, so I need to go as close as I can to the enemy planes to basically take them down as quickly as I can. There you go, 7, 8. Excellent ship for that. And yeah, I'm accompanying my Gi ring there. The enemy team has not entered the center ring right now. And so you notice that I am currently denying the capture of the middle ring by the enemy team, while the Gi ring is actually going to challenge the center one, and that's a very good position for us. We are in a position to be capping the 2 positions. Unfortunately, I'm starting to lose the middle ring. No, I'm actually blocking it, so that's good. The team is pushing forward, they're coming to help me. And so what I'm going to do immediately is to focus that bot Izumo. I want him out as quickly as I can, because those dummies are moving everywhere and they're actually quite detrimental to you. They can cap bases just as well as you can. So take them out as quickly as you can. And yeah, basically, if they start to hit you with HE in a destroyer, you're in a very bad position. So we've done a very good job. We've already capped 2 areas. We see that a part of the enemy team is actually going outside. We're not going to be interested in them. And sure enough, there we go, now the bot is out, and you see that I'm actually navigating in a position where I can cap as much as I can. I'm not going to the center, it's already safe there, so I do not have a hole there. I'm not going to the middle ring, I'm going to the outer ring, and we are in a very comfortable position right now. And so the enemy team decides to step outside of the epicenter area. We are not going to be focusing them, I'm going to ignore them, maybe put a couple of shells just there for good measure. You notice that as soon as I leave the outer ring, I start losing it, but that's alright. I do not want to bother too much with these guys. I'm actually going to go for the ones that are basically challenging our position there, that Montana, and I notice that the CV is entering there. There you go, the Midway and the Montana. Those are the two targets. Those are the two ones that I want to keep out as much as I can. So that's one of the advantages of playing these maps on destroyers. You can be a very good deterrent for the enemy team. Battleship CVs, they're never going to push if you are around, and basically you see me sending a wall of torpedoes there. I want that guy to be pushed out, absolutely. So I'm going to defend the two areas that we have actually capped. We are losing one cruiser, so we are 2 ships down, but we are still leading quite comfortably because we are in a very good position. We do have the two most important areas. So I think that Montana got the memo. The Midway apparently did not get it immediately, but we're going to help him, and yeah, let's focus him. Let's see if we can actually push him back. I think he's actually retreating, so that's good. And so that's basically how you play those game modes in the destroyer. You use your mobility to be repositioning every time you can actually help or support the cap. You try to identify the targets which are going to be entering the cap, and you try to push them out. And there you actually see me making my first mistake of the game. I'm focusing that Midway while it's absolutely not a danger anymore. He cannot do anything to me. Because I'm in Halland, and is also running out of the cap, and there are much important targets. I failed to notice that the enemy team, the ships that I ignored a little bit earlier on, are actually making a comeback, and we've already lost a couple of ships, so the situation is actually quite good if you look at the points. We are 200 points ahead because we have kept very dominant positions, but I'm focusing that CV for far too long. While the Montana and the cruiser that is actually pushing behind me is a much more interesting target, because there you go, you see the dynamic of the game completely changing. The enemy team is starting to cap the middle area, they are pushing for the center, and we do not have a single ship there. Ay, that's not looking good indeed. And this is where you will see me make my second mistake. So I do focus the Montana, that's actually quite good. I could have helped with the Rooster, to be honest, because it's a much more dangerous target. My CV there cannot do anything against him. But I should have simply run away. I should have walked away with this one and simply hide somewhere on the outside of the map. Now I'm in a very precarious position because I take a nasty salvo from that Rooster, and I basically cannot show him a broadside anymore. If I show my broadside now, I'm not maneuverable enough, I'm going to get deleted, I'm in a crossfire, and yeah, the situation is absolutely not good for me. The CV gets taken out, I get the full attention of the Rooster, and this mistake, yeah, I'm not in a position to be retreating anymore, so I'm trying to stay alive, denying the cap as long as I can, but that's a mistake that basically cost us the game. So yes, the right move there would have been to simply run away, recognize that the enemy team would not have enough points to, even if they kept everything, or the 3 areas, they would not have enough points to win that game. But there you go, that's the complexity of that kind of game modes, and you have to make those calculations very quickly, and the dynamics can change also very rapidly. But there you go. So playbook for destroyers, it's very comparable to battleships and cruiser, except that you will be trying to challenge the center area and the middle area and use your mobility and your torpedoes to basically to deny the other areas to the enemy team. If you cannot challenge the center area, just stay alive and you will be able at some point in the game go where you can actually be useful, try to cap the outer area or the middle area, and basically use your mobility to influence the progression of your team. Yep, so there you go, that was the end of the Epicenter guide. Oh, amazing performance for the from the rest of the team. But there you go, I guess you cannot win them all, right? So anyway, end of the Epicenter guide. Hope you've enjoyed it, learned a couple of interesting things. Stay safe, take care. That was DeathFromAbove signing out. Bye bye!